Like my last Advanced Germanicus guide, this guide is aimed towards those who want to delve deeper into Sulla and use them on a competitive level. Sulla infantry serves a special purpose in the roster. Sulla, with the exception of fighting against Ad Portas or Vengeance, is able to hold the line indefinitely and win any engagement. In lower tiers, he's vulnerable to missiles, but in higher tier, thanks to Raised Shield, he has over 90% missile block. You may reasonably ask, if Sulla loses to Germanicus with Vengeance, then what is the point of Sulla? Very simple. Sulla is one of the very few commanders who can disengage relatively easy even with heavy infantry. Thanks to his whip ability, proceeding to re-engage with full force. His abilities are toggle on and off and activation. This only costs a few dozen meters of ground, but when it is done right, you will not be taking any more damage in melee. So it is something that will depend on your strategy. On tier 10, my pick with Sulla is heavy infantry with raised shields, raised eagle, and vicious strike. The reason we are not going with Pilla is our blaring weakness of lower morale, which is counteracted with raised eagle, and our other weakness to skirmishers, which is counteracted with the raised shields. And it doubles down on the support role of Sulla, since the Raised Eagle is an AoE ability. His main disadvantage on high tiers is morale. The whip costing 30 morale means combined with one flank, you may not be able to use whip very often when flanked. However, the Raised Eagle ability will let you periodically be able to use it even if you're flanked. However, you still have a lower morale, which means you can get flanked easily with any combination of troops. Combined with prescription on one unit and fortify, so there should not be any unit that can bypass your defense. At the time of making this video, most people play tier 6 and 7, but in time tier 10 games will be more common and this will become much more apparent. And tier 10 games, most units and generals begin to come into their shape and their strengths become a lot stronger. So, how do you play him properly? I think he is great as a unit to defend a point from backcaps. So whenever you capture a point, if there is no one designated to defend it, you should leave a unit with your back to the wall. That way you can hold the longest, and if you are not flanked, you can easily beat 3 cavalry units since, well, you're not taking any damage. Or even if you do, it is much less than what it would be on anyone else. Other than that, thanks to your whip, you're able to travel much faster, fast enough that you can easily protect skirmishers even as heavy infantry. When engaging in melee, main thing is you need to watch out for is Vengeance, at which point you disengage and run as far as needed for the Vengeance to expire. That is assuming you have no way of routing your opponent. If you have a Germanicus on your side, then turn on prescription and let him do the work. If you are on lower tiers and have a buff support, then you can still win even when fighting Vengeance or Ad Portas, especially if you can combine the prescription with Veni. Your key to victory is proper utilization of your strikes, because you should already have 100% melee deflect without parry, and the 80% melee attack increase through whip at high tiers. What you will want is vicious strikes for the damage bonus. With that said, always watch your flanks and use your Raised Eagle at the start for the cases where the flanks get weird. The rest of your Raised Eagles should be reserved against the flanks. Just like Germanicus, your positioning and battlefield awareness is the most important asset you have. But instead of winning by killing, you're winning by defending. As such, Sulla is pretty much the Rogel Dorn of Total War Arena.